All right. All right. Let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to get as many people as we can up in here before I start this show. I got some I got something I want to get off my chest regarding the future of KevRow. And I think it's dope. So I'm gonna say what's up to the people in the chat room early. Hold up, hold up. Cut that off. Hold up. Copyright free music. Copyright free. Something I can just come on to while I do my lectures. Today I want to do a special lecture because the Epstein files have taught me something. And it helped me realize exactly what I was looking for. So yesterday's conspiracy show led into a Epstein file that was sent to me regarding Universe 25, which is dope because I'm in the process of doing the whole non-compos Mentis pipeline to prison type of thing. And I've been thinking the last, what, week and a half, 2 weeks, how am I going to pinpoint the place where this travesty has went wrong? Because I'm always diving deep, trying to go a little further, push myself. And I thought I pushed myself sort of to the max. I'm like, I think that's it. That's it. And I'll just build on what I have or whatnot. But the Epstein file yesterday really woke me up to something awesome. And since everything in the files are true, I'm going to take this specific file to be true as well. So shout out to the people who watched the program. But this file we put up yesterday, about this was on February 12th, 2013, and we're going to get into the Epstein stuff on the Urban Conservative for sure, for sure, for sure. What up, Ali? What up, Lita, RT Bell, Benjamin, Shiva, Forrest Glory, and Amanda? Hey, Mitchell, what's going on? Tolliver, see you, champ. Look, this KevRow University is important because this is going to have to deal with the fellas. So going into the future, I'm going to spend this whole curricula on the fellas. So, and not like going hard or nothing and like, oh, nigga, y'all niggas ain't doing your homework. No, this is actually dope because you do your homework. It's pretty much just personal development. So it's really on you. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you. This isn't a place where you got to hand in any homework. This is where you work on yourself and just dap each other up or dap me up or when you see a brother, that's it. It's a beautiful time to be alive. But this one in particular, I really was focused on because of all the things that's being said here. Well, you know me, I like to stay within a legal mind and a legal construct and a timeline, especially things that happened in my life. And I'm able to verify because we naturally went through it physically, spiritually, psychologically, all the above, and all that is missed. So, being Professor Gillespie here at KevRow University is an honor. But this right here, not the AI stuff, that stuff is that's a whole nother conversation. What struck me was when they began to talk about if hmm, it says here, I wonder where the Head Start program really works. Some of the kids get smarter and with the same cultural heritage decide to kill each other and join gangs. The correlation between places of those programs in gang violence is great. But no one has ever suggested a connection. Press one. No one ever suggested a connection. Hit the like button and subscribe. I wonder where the Head Start program really works. Now, Head Start is what? Head, Head Start is what? What ages is Head Start? Depending on where you're from. You know, Head Start was sold to us as a good thing. Get your kids up and early and get them a head start. Press one. No child left behind. Give them a head start. Makes sense, right? Well, of course, school, but at what stage in life is head start? Of course, school, but what stage in life is head start? Press one. Huh? Preschool. Okay, Head Start is preschool. Okay, yes, sir. The initial Head Start range was marked from birth to 3 years old. Okay, and it was to serve children from the birth to age 3 years old in an effort to capitalize on research. Press one. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'll gladly take that. I'll gladly take that. 3 years of age. Press one. Now, that's the age we're talking about here, correct? Okay. Why three? Because the research evidence that they capitalized from. Now, listen to me. This is how you hide slavery in 2026. Listen to me. The evidence shows that the first 3 years are critical to the child's long term development. From birth to 3 years of age, from the research that they've been able to capitalize off of. You hear me? These are the critical stages that shapes the child. Now, how they've been able to capitalize, we like to go to the dictionary, correct? And since capitalize, hit the like button and subscribe. isn't in the 1828. We got to go with the key word here, capital. And if you go all the way down to number three, you will see. Now, this is to gain revenue. A stock in trade in manufacturers or any business requiring the expediture of money with a view to profit. First one. All right, I'm gonna walk them down. Right. Excellent, 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 excellent homework. Excellent. Right. So what does that mean? Okay, somewhere these folk down all the way at the top to where they can mandate preschool in the ghetto so that the children are subject. Now, wait a minute. No, Kev, don't say. So that the children are subject to this, right? Start looking at it like business model. Told you. You're going. Didn't I say it? It's a business model. I didn't create trapped in trauma for nothing. I observed my community the whole time. Yeah. So that right there had me thinking. But not only it didn't make me very angry, it made me like, So this is when the neurons are developing in the mind. Press one. This is where everything happens as a child. Hit the like button and subscribe. Yes, sir. Even handing out vouchers for that kind of child care will be kickbacks for them. Yep. Form of 501. But there you go. That's a that's is insane, right? So you may be thinking, well, what's wrong with that? There's a whole cultural experience that comes along with that. The 94 crime bill comes along with that. I mean, when I went to jail, I had to do a scientific psychological study and realize these people were left there way back in the innocent time. These people wasn't always bad like this. They got them in here. Mm-mm. Nope. Because I went to school with them. I'm in the yearbook. I took pictures with them. I played basketball with them. We all lived in the same buildings, in the same blocks, went to the same stores, went to the same parents. So I had to go deep and realize this had to be systematic. I can't possibly believe that they're just genetically evil, right? I mean, I come from this. There must be a program because look at me, right? So I had to bear that burden. Okay, you got to really pay attention. And I realized it's that moment of time where the neurons in your brain was frozen. Yeah, the body grew, but the mental capacity and the experience and how you were supposed to be cultivated in this world to blossom and grow, you didn't get that experience. You got incompetence. You got incompetence. You got the pink, you got the slip. You didn't get direction with love, you got authoritative, submit or else. And, children are rebellious. So a systematic approach with that business mind is not good for children who are coming into themselves and asking questions. Authority, you're not asking questions. You don't, there is no question because I said so. I'm the adult. I'm the authority. I'm the teacher. And if you don't respect me, if you keep going, I'll send you to the place where asking too many questions will put you in the same classroom at lunchtime as the ones who gangbang, buddy. So you're included in that. So your experience is a little different. You learn to process information, you learn to be passive. You don't, not to, not that you didn't question authority, you didn't challenge it with lawful power. You didn't challenge authority. So you got herded into the same neuron acceptance. Pat on your back, you're doing a good job. Here's some grades. I didn't experience that, so I can speak up on it. I saw you though. I saw you from a distance smiling, and your parents there in grade school night, and they so proud of y'all. But it was that same system that ended up enslaving you mentally, taking up all your time, freedom, more. You don't question it. You vote, but you don't question it. See, you looking at me, and I'm the anomaly because I'm smart, but I didn't get the pat on the back. So it's the opposite of you. I question with fierce too. I challenge you. Why? Because they wouldn't allow me to do so. I laugh now. It's just because why? Because you can't beat me. You can never answer these questions. It's not in the program. It's not in the, you feel me? And any kid that comes up that want to question scientifically, or even if to get to the basics of if they even come from Africa, it's a disciplinary act rather than it's a good question. You know what I'm saying? So everybody kind of got blended into a statistical deception because everybody ain't bad because they didn't fail. And everybody who failed ain't failing now. And everybody who did the pat on the back isn't doing as well as, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say here. So we've all been kind of like deceived on that level. You know what I'm saying? I watched it. I grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? I watched people go to the military and be whispered off to come back with neurological problems I couldn't even explain. What happened to you? You know? So I hope people understand that non-compos mentis is real. Universe 25 is the study of how you, the black dead man headed to prison, have been kept in a minor incompetent mentality and how you were removed from yourself. I'm going to explain it by rapping. Shout out to you, who y'all people out there who actually doing the research. Shiva brought that up, and it really changed. Right. So we're gonna talk frequency later on in the lecture. Not today, but later on in the lecture, we're gonna be talking frequency and how this process happened and it kept you not it kept the body growing but kept the neurons of growth. the things necessary at the development ages. So when they begin to develop, let's say three to 3 to 9. Okay, 9, you outside. You listening to rap. You listening. It's in your ear now, right? The flow, the tempo, what's being discussed. It's in your ear. Now, 9, shit is going on at 3. The disassociation process is going on at 3. You hear what I said? The disassociation process is going on at 3 in the black community. So the character is being installed. All of this, the innocent individual is being deleted. Like Tupac said, and though my soul was deleted, I couldn't see it. I had my mind full of demons trying to break free. Press one. Such a dirty game. So I'm the Einstein of the black community. Yup, that's me. I scientifically observe and study this coded situation that we are in. You know? So when I do the X matrix, this is all the X matrix. This is all seen through. You feel me? Not breaking out of, because once you know, like Morpheus told Neo, you don't even you telling me I can dodge bullets? No, what I'm telling you is when you ready, press one. Shit, you won't have to. Shit, you won't have to, champ. This is facts. The real study of Adam. This is facts. So what I'm saying is at these developing ages, this is where you got to go back to. This is why most people their memory of their childhood is missing because you were turned into something else. And the developing when your neurons begin to connect, you are already bag tagged and ready to go to jail. If not, your brain waves, the music input, and what you're witnessing, given your geographical upbringing, you're on your way. Press one. So with that, I said, "Oh, it's the perfect time, right? To do what? Start my lectures because not only is this non-compos mentis, this is also the effect of being trapped in trauma, compartmentalized fears that keep you bounded and, and press one and grounded when you need to be flying free. Press one, those fears is part of the system. Well, that's why everybody else out here, y'all thinking it's white people shit. They having fun on sailboats, diving with and catching motherfucking marlin, pulling it up on the boat, fishing with their sons. You like, damn, water rafting and skydiving and flipping out of shit. And we just watching. And a little jealous, like, God damn. Can I just pay my bills and get ahead, damn it? But you can do the same thing. But I'm saying though, that's what. Damn, man, motherfuckers got dirt bikes. Shit, was that a what? Jeez, man. So I've learned that most of the things that makes us think that that's white people shit is fear, and fears create boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that's what happened at a young age. I mean, growing up in the hood, that's all we knew. Going to school was prostitutes, gangbangers. That's enough for a 3 to 10-year old to walk to school to know gangbangers and prostitutes and what gangs is written on the wall, what that even mean. That's insane. That's insane. Walking through alleys that ain't even clean with no adult supervision. Just no. And then when things like a big fight or a shooting happen, it's because the kids are comfortable. They thinking it's Call of Duty and this is Grand Theft Auto, and I saw this on a rap video, and this is what King Von did, and this is what I'm okay with my friends glamorize, and one day I'm going to go to prison for the rest of my life too, because that's just how the white man gonna do me. See, you understand what I'm saying? Huh? The system ain't set up. No, the system is set up just for you to go walk that path right there because you're going. That's for sure. You're going. Yeah. Welcome to Shutter Island, right? So we're gonna be talking about if you understand what I mean by the freezing aspect when your mind was frozen. Okay. So with this, um, I want you to understand that this right here from the jump is nothing about your life happened late or nothing happened or you passed your prime or none of that. What happened to you happened very early before you had language, before you had memory, before you had a defense. The system didn't wait for you to become a man, it intercepted you as a child. Press one, KevRow lectures in full effect. Make sure you, hey, put my link in the, thank you for putting my, make sure you contribute. KevRow is officially, the bell has rung, but I'm not going to ring the bell. You just going to know it's time to go. Press one, time to get to work. By the age of 3, the black boy already's been intercepted differently. Not his being, I said, has been intercepted, not guided differently, judged differently. His movements is read as aggression. His curiosity is read as disruption. His emotion is read as danger. This is not psychology. This is projection. When a child is corrected instead of guided, something happens inside the nervous system. The body learns that expression is unsafe. The mind learns that silence is survival. This is where development pauses, not because the child failed, but because the environment became hostile towards the child. This pause, right, is what I call the freeze. And freezing is not weakness. Freezing is the oldest survival response known to the human body. When fight or flight are punished, the body chooses stillness. The tragedy is not that the black boy froze. It's not that though. The tragedy is that the system punished him for freezing and then blamed him for not growing. Do I need to clock that T? See, I'm talking about trauma. This is Universe 25, an environment that interrupts natural development and then treats the interruption as a defect. From the moment on, everything the black boy does is filtered through survival, not joy, not exploration, survival. And survival is not living, it's waiting. Okay? It's waiting. Once the freeze begins, emotion becomes evidence. Now listen to me. This is the world we live in. Okay, fellas? All fellas know what I'm talking about. I told you we gonna walk on water. Told you. Watch this. Once the freeze begins, emotion becomes evidence. Every feeling is watched. Every reaction is measured. The black boy learns quickly that emotion will be used against him. His anger becomes aggression. His sadness becomes a weakness. His fear becomes guilt. There is no safe emotion for a black boy, only acceptable silence. Where other children I know lived around him. I know this, okay? Where other children are comforted, the black boy is corrected. Where others are explained to, he is restrained. That's not discipline. This is emotional surveillance. Over time, the black boy learns to mask. He learns to mask it, right? He learns to hide his internal world while carrying it alone. And in that, trauma can never be resolved. It's just stored like a database, ready to be activated by whatever pushes the button. Got it? I know y'all heard. Push the goddamn button. I got a ham process too. Press what? Oh my goodness. All right. All right. Stored trauma does not disappear. It waits. It leaks. It shows up later as rage, numbness, anxiety, or just completely shut down. The system later calls this emotional dysregulation. But what it really is unattended to pain. Emotional surveillance teaches that black boys one rule: never let them see you feel. You learn that in jail. Press one, you learn that growing up in the street. No, come over here. Don't. And one that does not feel cannot heal. Press one. Say it with me. One that cannot feel and does not feel cannot heal. So that's where KevRow University is in regard Universe 25. Now we can learn the process from adults. We can learn the process from from the after effect of the filling up in jails and criminals, and they'll tell you all about it. You can get it from a teenager. But what you have to do is go back to the child that was lost, the innocent space that was lost. That's what we have to do personally to begin self development and self healing like Wolverine off the X-Men. Press one. So yeah, one that does not feel cannot heal. Press one. All you gonna see is the rage. That's all you gonna see. You gonna just see the tattoo on the face. You ain't not gonna understand the process of acceptance, of not having nobody at home. You just gonna see the bald head and the tattoos and the shoes and the tough hands. You're not gonna really understand the process of where what that is. So that's the teachings here this semester at KevRow University is to get a better understanding on the hood persona or the hood person. Press one, and you can get a great understanding right here when we talking about the trapped in trauma non-compos mentis pipeline from now that we know it's preschool to prison. Press one because it's the development, it's the making of a nigga. Follow me. It's the creation of an artificial intelligence. Mm. Terminator. Press one. So the Terminator of today, you nigga, you woman, you gotta go back like the movie Terminator and get the little boy. You. Why? Because he's still frozen. That's why. You ever saw the movie Frozen? He's still frozen. So, so that's the importance of this program is retrieving the old you. You know how they tell you, leave the old you behind and leave you. How you gonna do that? Hit the like button and subscribe. The slogan is right here. One who does not feel cannot heal. You gotta go back. You don't got a choice. Okay, so long, I call this chapter the record, right? Long before prison, long before prison, there is paperwork. Long before charges, there are files. The black boy is documented very early, quietly, and his documentation is permanent. Okay, every write up, every referral, every scrutiny, every time scrutiny was called, just in case, or security, excuse me, just in case, these moments are removed from context and preserved as identity. The record does not capture who the child is, it captures how the child reacted under pressure. But pressure was never noted. Those records followed the black boy forward in life, shaping how teachers perceive and treat him or her. The police approach him, how courts interpret him. They just pull your sheet up. They know you already. Everybody knows this, right? Later, these records are aggregated into what? Statistics. And those statistics become the presented truth. Okay. But statistics, as I've proven on my program, don't measure danger, they measure surveillance density. Press one. The system watches black boys more, records them more, then claims the data proves criminality. Hence, Stephen Crowder. This is how narratives become law. Okay? Once the label arrives, curiosity ends. The black boy is no longer studied, he becomes managed. Troublemaker, aggressive, at risk. Those words are not descriptions, those are sentences. And I'm not talking about sentences and paragraphs, literally. Labels harden perception. Everything the black boy does becomes confirmation. Growth is ignored, change is discounted. The label migrates from preschool to early school, from school to the street, from street to the court. By adulthood, the black man is treated as a known threat to society. The label does not describe behavior, it prepares punishment. Eventually, the label moves inside. The man begins to describe himself using the system's language. This is internal captivity. This THAW, begins when the label is rejected. The thought process begins when the label is rejected. Okay? Hit the like button and just subscribe if you understand. Okay. Authority. I don't know who's writing this down, but you need to. Authority is introduced to the black boy as fear, not legitimacy. Rules are enforced without explanation to the black boy. Punishment escalates quickly with the black boy, and grace is limited by design. Okay? Compliance becomes safety, questioning becomes danger. This is not respect, this is conditioning. Over time, the voice of authority moves inside, self policing replaces surveillance. The black man begins to punish himself before the system does. Authority no longer needs to appear. Freedom begins with discernment. Okay? The black man time is weaponized. The black boy is rushed, but never healed. The bells ring, deadlines close, urgency replaces depth. Reflection becomes dangerous. Slowness becomes failure. The nervous system learns panic. Stillness feels unsafe. Silence feels suspicious. The man lives reactive, never settled. Time becomes a leash. Mm. But the thawing process restores the tempo. Okay. So it's the process. Intrinsic motivation is replaced with this is rewards versus punishment. Replace with incentives. Silence becomes rewarded. Expression is punished. Survival becomes performance theater. Mistakes become identity. Punishment removes belonging. And this, to me, is the deepest threat. The black boy learns to disappear safely. This trains the mental cage. Okay? The system wins when harm feels normal. Trauma becomes baseline. This is just how it is, becomes doctrine. Masculinity becomes armor and toxic. Humor becomes camouflage. Success comes without sovereignty. Normalization makes slavery legal again. Okay. But I said all that, but awareness breaks the spell. Okay. Awareness breaks the spell. So to me, in the thawing process that I've even been in myself naturally, you were never broken, as they say. You're not broken, okay? Your growth, your normal development was interrupted, okay? The most dangerous black man is not an angry man, okay? The most dangerous black man is a self governing black man. And once the thought process began, the system cannot stop that. Okay? It can't. Okay? So it is a process, but it starts with self governance, starts with you. Agency, self agency starts with you. Only you can prevent forest fires. Hit the like button and subscribe. Only you. So this is all I do here at KevRow University, especially this semester. You want fun and games? That's cool. I love that. Meet me over there at KevRow at the Conspiracy Night over there on Channel 54. I'm gonna drop the link on my Patreon. Of course, we could do conspiracies all night. Just be supportive of the row. But look, this right here is why KevRow was created. Okay, they keep it score, and the score is statistics. It's the statistical breakdown. Let me see who contributed to this page because from now on, y'all getting shout outs. all the time. As soon as I have a little break in my what's your name. Shout out to the three people who contributed. Yohanan, shout out to you. Nettie Net, AP, shout out to you. And Bartholomew, shout out to my man. Contribution to today's lesson. Man, that must have meant something to you. And blessings, bro. And you must understand exactly what I'm talking about as far as this teaching go. I think this is the healing aspect to the law. You know what I'm saying? Not just the letter of the law, but the spirit of the law as well. I think this is powerful and may be the most powerful lesson in the non-compos, because if you can get back to the boy, to him, then you can move forward. You understand what I'm saying? You can bring him on up to you. You can move forward, but you got to be willing to go back and get him, because that's not easy to do. I'm not gonna lie to you to make it sound like it's something you can do and it's something that's gonna happen for you. I don't know your life. I know that you left him way back there, and you gotta go back and you gotta travel like on a never ending story back through the through the swamp of sorrows, and it's tough, and you may drown, and you may go under the damn press one. It may pull you up under the quicksand. Press one, and it may be nothing we can do. It's just damn. But you know one thing, you had courage enough to stop pretending you're strong and prove it. Press one and stop pretending you're strong, because you're frozen in time back there. Prenatal care can prevent some problem. I don't know where that came from, but I'm not talking about prenatal care. This is going to take, I'm talking to adults who need to retrieve themselves in the past, that they're still, I don't think you fully understand, Nelda, what I'm talking about here. So yeah, let's stop suggesting things and let's start paying attention to what Professor Gillespie is saying, because that's not making no sense. I'm not saying prenatal, this ain't perinatal school and nothing. I'm talking to adults, okay, who are tired of pretending that they are adults and go back and get the little person that's pretending they're strong and go back and get the little person, right? While all the women 40, 50, 60 years old want to want to date with the same mindset as 21-year-old women on Pop the Balloon Show, having the dumbest shit, knowing they just need somebody to hold hands and walk to the park and go pick up their medicine from the damn press one. I don't even know what they talking about. Press one. It's time to focus. Stop pretending, accept it, and go back and get the person you left behind. I'm not playing with that. No, this is my real work. Yeah. This is why I do what I do. This is why I haven't quit yet, because this is what I like to do. Press one, I like helping people. I like helping people realize that they trauma is not the final, is it's a due date on that sentence. And the due date start with you. And this ain't regular, this is mental prison. So you got the key. But the key is, I know George Bush lied and said no child left behind. But guess what? They left us behind. When I went to jail, y'all, no matter how good you see of me today, when I went to jail, y'all, I seen this problem right here. This was the problem. I took, I said, wow. So you know what I did? I tested my theory. I started talking about childlike things like wrestling. Press what? I asked one dude what's his favorite wrestler. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Then I asked them cartoons. And then we went to cereal and shoes. And I said, Lord have mercy. They were so excited. The guard had to come tell us to shut up. And we wasn't even arguing or fighting. I said, damn. They said Gillespie trying to start a riot. Yup. And I realized, I said, damn, they went from watching cartoons and wrestling and family matters and innocence and having backpacks on and riding bicycles and buying lollipops off the ice cream truck to gang banging and killing each other. Like, what? How? I refuse to accept that. I refuse to accept that dumbass, lame excuse that that's just the way it is. Mm-mm. This is a process. This is a process. And now I'm beginning to understand that process. You know, this is just my perception. All right. I didn't, you know, I didn't do what y'all did. So what I'm talking about is just from my perspective, and I hope other people out there can understand. So at some point, the system itself stopped asking me and you who we were and start asking us how we scored. Grades, percentiles, risk levels, credit scores, charges, sentences. Everything about you was reduced to numbers. These scores pretend to be natural, objective, scientific, but the score never measured potential. Press one. It measures performance under it measures performance under pressure and in environments designed without you in mind. Okay? The black boy learns early that he is always being ranked, not only against his growth in himself, but against others who are never subjected to the same conditions. The scoreboard never accounts for trauma, hunger, fear, or surveillance. Numbers travel faster than context. Okay? A low score closes doors quietly, and high scores open them conditionally. Either way, the system never asks why, like Jadakiss. The most dangerous thing about the score is how fast it gets internalized. A man begins to see himself as behind, at risk, low potential, without realizing those numbers were generated inside a biased system. The score teaches the comparison instead of the comprehension. You stop asking what you need to grow and start asking how to beat someone else. The score also teaches waiting, waiting to be judged, waiting to be approved, waiting to be told if you're enough. The thought process begins when you realize no numbers can measure a man who was never given a fair environment to develop. Press one. No numbers. Let's say it again. Can measure a man who was never given a fair environment to develop. Okay? Normalize violence. Okay? Not all violence look like fists, guns, and gangbangers. Some violence looks like stress that never ends, surveillance that never stops, punishment that never explains itself. That's violence. For black boys, violence becomes normalized when harm is constant but unnamed. Police in schools, metal detectors at the door, suspensions for emotions. None of this feels shocking for a while. The nervous system itself adapts by numbing. Okay. What once felt wrong begins to feel expected. What once felt unbearable begins to feel ordinary. This is why many black men normalize their own pain. Others had it worse. That's just life. These statements are not strength. This is what I call this is the evidence of adaptation to harm. Normalized violence teaches the black boy that peace is temporary and danger is permanent. So he stays alert, guarded, ready. This readiness is later mislabeled as aggression. But what it really is unresolved survival mode. The system benefits from this confusion. When harm feels normal, the outrage disappears. When outrage disappears, nothing changes. The thawing process means naming, okay? The thawing means naming violence that was hidden behind routine. It means calling chronic stress what it is, assault on development, okay? The thaw, what healing actually is. Healing does not begin with just forgiveness. It begins with recognition. Recognition that what you lived through was not natural and not deserved. The thaw is not instant. Frozen systems do not melt overnight. The nervous system must relearn safety slowly. Okay. This includes learning how to rest without guilt, how to be still without fear, how to speak without bracing for punishment. Thawing means separating identity from adaptation. You are not your coping mechanisms. You are not your freeze. You are not your record, right? Emotional range returns gradually. Anger softens into clarity. Numbness gives away to grief. Grief opens the door to joy. Okay? The system fears this because a regulated man is hard to manipulate. He is not rushed, not baited, not easily controlled. This restores choice. The, the one thing Universe 25 or the ghetto tries to remove. You have a choice. Okay? The one thing that it fears. Okay? Again, this isn't weakness. This is the return to sovereignty. You can say it with no self governance and go to the system that has encaptured you and believe that paperwork is going to free you. Hit the like button and subscribe. Hit that Cash App if you support this message. The outcome, the system never planned for self governance. Self governance is not rebellion, it is not loud, it is not chaotic, it is grounded. A self governing black man understands his nervous system, his history, and his value. He does not confuse authority with legitimacy. Okay? He evaluates before he obeys. He pauses before he reacts. He moves with intention. The man is dangerous to systems built on fear because fear no longer runs him. The Bible even says you can't serve two masters. This man is dangerous to this system that's built on fear. Okay? Self governance dismantles the pipeline without violence. Self governance dismantles the pipeline to prison without violence, without chaos, and without permission. It restores adulthood where development was interrupted. This is why the system intervened early because a fully developed black man cannot easily be enslaved. 13th Amendment. And this is the end of the penitentiary system. This is the end of Universe 25. Hit the like button and subscribe. And what we talking about is before we get to stolen identity and time traveling, we must get to who stole your development. Why? Because we have to find out what you were never given time to become, right? I mean, look at me. I mean, for I bet you from people who can read paperwork from my youth probably just said, "Oh, he just retarded." If he's headed one way, press one, nobody. I can testify. One of the hardest truths to face is this: it's not only that harm was done to you, is is that something was withheld: time, safety, guidance, space to fail without punishment. Development requires margin, room to experiment, adults who explain instead of escalate, environments where, excuse me, environments where mistakes are part of learning. For many black boys, that margin never existed. Instead of being taught how to regulate emotion, you were told to suppress it. Instead of being guided through confusion, you were punished for it. Growth was treated as misconduct. This produces adults who feel behind without knowing why. Men who are intelligent, capable, and driven, but sense a missing foundation. And some of the brightest people I've ever met in my life. The system later calls this immaturity, but immaturity implies failure. What actually occurred was interruption. I got him. Oh, I got him. I got 'em. You cannot finish stages you were never allowed to complete. You cannot mature in environments that criminalize development. Naming stolen development is not about blame, it's about accuracy. And accuracy is the beginning of restoration. Okay? So, one of the things that allowed me to do what I do is to break the veil, the mirror, the the viewpoint of how the system and the world viewed me. Press what? And you have to see yourself without the system's voice in your brain. So, at some point in the thawing process, and that's what they call the awakening, I call it for you the thawing process. A man looks in the mirror and realizes the the voice judging him isn't his own. It's the echo of teachers, police officers, files, labels, and numbers. The mirror becomes a battleground between who you were told you are and who you actually feel yourself to be. Now, that is uncomfortable. The system trains you to distrust your perception and defer to authority. Reclaiming self perception feels risky at first. Learning to see yourself without institutional language is the act of rebellion, but a quiet one. You begin to replace I'm behind with I'm just delayed. I'm broken with I'm burdened. I'm dangerous with I was misrepresented or misread. This reframing loosens loosens shame. And shame is the glue that holds the frozen aspect in place. Okay? So we're not here to feel bad. In fact, you shouldn't. Something happened. You're a victim. Again, thawing is not instant empowerment. Often the first thing that comes back is grief. Grief for the child who had to grow up alert instead of curious. Grief for the uh, joy that felt unsafe. Grief for the guidance that never came. Most black men were never given permission to grieve. Pain had to be converted into toughness, loss into humor, fear into anger. But grief is not weakness, it is the nervous system acknowledging reality. This grief isn't about staying in the past, it's about releasing what the body has been carrying all along, right? When grief is allowed, rage softens, numbness lifts, energy returns. The system fears grief because grief produces clarity, not chaos. And clarity cannot be easily controlled. Follow me? So, Universe 25 train urgency as survival. Always moving, always reacting, always prepping for the next threat. The thawing process requires slowing the body down, sometimes for the first time, right? This can feel very uncomfortable. Stillness may trigger anxiety at first. Silence may feel unsafe. Hit the like may feel unsafe. Hold on, I lost my spot. Hold on. All right, I got it. But with time, the nervous system learns that nothing bad happens when you just pause. Reclaiming time means choosing depth over speed, reflection over reaction, intention over impulse. It means allowing thoughts to finish, emotions to complete, decisions to mature. This isn't laziness. This is repatternizing. This is repattering. Time sovereignty is foundational to self governance. Okay? Community without surveillance. Most black men in Universe 25 learned community under watch, school, court, program, system, someone always observing. Hold on. This taught performance instead of presence, armor instead of authenticity. Okay. Thawing requires space where no one is grading you, ranking you, or recording you. Real community allows contradiction, vulnerability, and rest. This is why healing often begins in small circles, not institutions. Trust rebuilds slowly. That's normal. The nervous system remembers betrayal. Okay? Community without surveillance restores humanity. And humanity was always the threat to Universe 25. Once the freeze lifts, the man faces new challenges, choosing who he is without reacting to the system. Identity formed in resistance can still be tethered to the oppressor. Self governance asks deeper questions. What do I value? How do I want to live? What kind of man do I choose to be? These questions were delayed, not denied. Choice replaces false reflection. Intention replaces survival. This is adulthood arriving late, but fully arriving. The system has no response to chosen identity in that sense because it was never meant to. Okay. I'm going to stop right there because I got over 50 chapters. And I think I've been on the air 1 hour and 20 minutes. And it's been a great, I will be doing um a lot of these actually. Most of my live streams will be this here at KevRow University. Will be live streams about this. All media, all media will be on my other page concerning anything outside of non-compost Mentis and these lectures and my support team because this is what drives all the channels anyway. So I'll be here early and do this, and then we'll move on to our conspiracy show channel 54, and I'll open up the stream yard because people are like, Kev, can I come on the show? Yes, I was just building up a few programs because people want to do commentary in sports as well. So, starting a business isn't easy. A lot of patience, but I still have to come on and do what I do for those who love these types of conversations. Again, this is non-compos mentis universe 25 reading. You're gonna get the full audio on Patreon when I'm done with the lecture that comes with all the sponsors. You guys have been a blessing to not only myself but the others here at KevRow University, and I'm asking everybody to support this program so we can grow expeditiously because that's what it's about. Becoming, I'm not just a YouTuber. I'm an author. And I hold lectures, and I'm a professor at KevRow University. Press one, also a content creator. Pop, pop, pop. Why you pop my balloon, cuz? Press one. What? Content creator. Hit that like button and subscribe. But no, I hope the fellas out there understand that this is very important. I'm also have a worksheet that I have downloaded. I'm not going to send it yet because I'm still deciding on if I need anything else in there. But yeah, I'm also working on a worksheet for personal development. So that's going for the sponsors and the people who support this this non-compost mentis lecture venture that we on that we don't turn into a business. I thank y'all for the support, and I think that's about it.